Hi all, Cynthia here, back with the next couple of pages in my documented December daily, or I could even be calling it just December doings, because I'm really not documenting something every day, and I'm not particularly documenting just December stories, so I'll just call it December doings. I think that's good English, isn't it? Anyway, if you could think of a good name, feel free to leave it in the suggestions boxes. In the comments box, I should say. So what have I done here? I've taken the cut files that come in my December kit from the Wild Hare kits, and I'm just going to, I've trimmed it down to the right size, 6x8, to go in my album. And now I'm just going to back it with some of the papers that are from the 6x6 paper pad. So that paper pad's from the Pink Fresh Studio Holiday Vibes collection. And there we go. It's pretty much all backed. I do come back in here in a moment. And with this washi tape that I'm fighting with, I end up trimming a little extra off. I put it down on this photo here of the Christmas tree, and then I trim some of it off, and then I cut out the little reindeer heads, and I stick those through the the circles or the little holes of this cut file, so each one has the rainbow head. So you can see I've put 2 layers of tape on one side and 1 layer on the other. I wasn't too sure which way I was going to like it, but I prefer it with the 1 layer, and I'll punch the circles in the right-hand side, I guess you call it, and put it in the album that way. I wasn't too sure where I was going to punch the holes, as I was saying. So this is where I sort of decided I'll use this washi tape to back up some of the circles, and I just cut out the reindeers, add the tape to the back of the paper, and then fill in all the little holes. So you can just see these tiny little reindeer heads sticking out. It's very subtle. You can't really notice it unless you happen to be, studying it. Most people probably won't even pick up on it. So I've got a couple of pages there coming together. Now I've just got to decide what I want to do with the back of this page. I know I don't want to add a photo, but I just want to decorate it in somehow. So I pull out this blue paper from the 6x6 paper pad and think, I kind of like the hexagon shapes that it's on here, or whatever that shape is called, and start trimming them out. And I don't initially have any intentions of covering the whole page. I thought I'd do a little bit of a hit and miss, something similar to this, and leave a lot of blank. But in the end, I just couldn't make it work. I couldn't figure out how to make it look quite even and nice at the same time. So that's what I thought I'd have it as. And I fiddle around with trying to put something in the white spaces there for a little while, but couldn't really make it work, as I said. So I do come back in a moment and fill in the rest of the spots and pretty much fill up the whole card. So I trimmed it all out. And I know you're probably thinking, well, why didn't I just glue the paper down whole? Because I've ended up covering the whole thing. But I quite like how it has the white spaces between the blue, whereas if I just put it down whole, it didn't have that. It was a solid blue background with the print on top, whereas this way I definitely have that white border around each blue shape. This is where it is. I'm trying to figure out what to do with the spaces that are blank, and I shuffle some of these embellishments around the chipboard pieces here that are also from the same Pink Fresh Studio collection. And I really like these baubles, but I really just can't make them work. So I tried them in a few different places. I quite like the idea. I want to have a different shape. I want to have a couple of different shapes on this one just to break that pattern up and to give the eye something to focus on or to rest on. And I just can't quite decide what I'm going to do. And this is where I decide that I need to fill in all those empty spots. So I do grab that other sheet up there and trim out some more bits and pieces and fill it in. So what are we? This one is what I end up putting the number 4 on it. As I said, it's not really day 4 and it's not particularly 4 stories as such. It's just 4 things that I want to document. And so Christmas has been and gone. So I'm a little bit behind. I have managed to do day 6, I think, or story 6 or number 6 or whatever I want to call it. But I'll get there. I'm happy. I'll just keep plodding away. I don't know how many I do. I think also not calling it December documented or December daily or anything like that. It means that if I have 10 stories and I feel like that's enough and I'm over it, well, I'll just call it done. I'll just put 10 different things in and that will be done. These things that I'm putting in are not in particularly being in chronological order either. Some of the stuff that I've documented didn't happen in December, but they were certainly Christmas related. So I think doing it this way, I'm not having any pressure on to have it finished if I don't get it finished, because there is no set finish time or date. Just coming to the last of it now. These last couple of ones were a little bit tricky to find some pieces that were whole that would fill in the gaps, and I got a little bit lost on making sure they all married up. There we go. All done. Just going to repunch the hole on that one because I've covered it up. Putting those aside, cleaning up, and now going to go back to see what I can put on this page. I quite like these 2 pieces here. Thought about putting that piece underneath, but that doesn't stay there. The top 2 pieces do. I put these chipboard pieces down, and then I go back into the kit to see what else I can use. Get rid of those and have a bit of look around. Not exactly sure what I want to put down the bottom, but I know I definitely want to put something down there. And I try a few different options, and then I think about these leaves as if maybe the leaves or vines are cascading down from this chipboard piece. So that's where I'm going with this. I do love these thickers, but if you bend the thickers at all, which of course you have to do pretty much to get them off, it puts a little crease in the top of the gold that's on top, so that can be a little bit annoying. I'm trying not to let that worry me, but you know, as always, it would look better if it wasn't there, but that's not the way it is. And I quite like that, but now I feel like I want to cover up the gap between where the leaves or the vines finish underneath that pinky reddy little banner there. So I pull out this sheet of paper that has the lights strung across it, and I'm going to cut myself out a couple of little banners of the lights and just stick them there underneath that chipboard banner. And it's just enough to sort of break up and make it look like it's actually coming out behind something as opposed to just stuck there and sitting there. So I put that one down and go back in and cut another little one out. It's just enough, as I say. Liking the way that's coming together. There we go, like the way that looks. I'm going to tape those down. And then this one. And I call that page done. So that page is done. I flip it over and on the back is the Christmas tree. So that page is done. I've just got those strip of washi tapes down the side. That's all I'm going to do. Now I'll work on this happy page because I do want to add something else to this page as well. And I quite like the idea of trying to get these ornaments to come on this part. So I play around with that for a little while. And I come up with a layout that I like. I grab the chipboard piece there, you can see that, which is the star. I quite like the way that sits up there with that other star in the background. But I do pull out these glittery stars to see whether or not I think one of those will look better. I quite like the shape and the size of that one, but I didn't quite like the way the glittery gold goes with that sort of more matte gold. So I swap it out for this chipboard piece. I think that just looks a bit better. As I said, I do quite like the shape and size of that one, but yeah, the glittery bit's just not working for this particular page. So I'm going to stick that down there, and I cut away here. I put the ribbon down, so I do go into my stash and pull out some ribbon that I think I can hang these ornaments from. Didn't think about that before I put the ornaments down and the happy down, because in the end I sort of have to peel up some of the happy and the star to make that middle ribbon hang in a nice straight line. There we go. So now I have all 3 pages complete, and I put them back in the album and think, oh, hang on, Cynthia, you haven't added any journaling. That's a bit of a trick. I've got to add some journaling about my Christmas tree. So I end up making a bit of a shaker pocket. So here's the shaker pocket here. It's just one of the sleeves that the packaging comes in. And going to use this tape here, this glittery tape, to seal up the 2 ends. Typed up my journaling on some very light pink vellum, and I'm going to trim that. I just got onto the computer and made sure that it was the right width. I used Word for that. I made a text box for the right width and typed up my journaling. Going to add that, and the camera sort of stops all of a sudden here in a moment. It started, you can see it every now and then it's starting to flicker, and it did. It flickered the whole time for the rest of the video, so I don't show you any of that. And you will see from the close-up photos that I end up swapping out the glittery tape for a red tape. I like the glitter, but once I put it back in the album, I had that same thing. It was the glitter and the matte gold from that Hello, and it just wasn't looking quite right for me. So you'll see that I've swapped out. It's the same process. I just put some across the top and some across the bottom, and then I stuck 2 pieces on, or 3 pieces on the edge of it to make little hoops. You'll see that in the close-up photos. To be able to slip it into my page. And you'll also see in the close-up photos, or maybe you won't, but I have added the number 4 to the back of the shaker pocket as well. And I love the way that pockets come together. I think it looks just dandy. There we go. And as I said, it's about to cut out. There's lots of close-up photos, so do stay tuned for those. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the process. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know how your December daily is going if you're doing one. And did you have a good Christmas? Don't forget to check out the Wild Hare kits. I'll leave all their link below. Until next time, everyone have a lovely day, a lovely week, or a lovely month, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Until then, bye.